It's a beautiful Wednesday, May 20th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful, award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, pool wraps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, always a good time. And I miss the sunny and 80-degree weather, okay?
No kidding. And I don't know, the 10-day forecast looks like a lot more of the same. Hopefully we get a little bit of change up.
Yeah, what is this, man?
No.
It's almost June. What are we doing here, Mother Nature? Come on.
This is not the Memorial Day weekend that I imagined.
There are millions of Oklahomans going to hit the lake this weekend, Mother Nature. Fix it.
Yeah.
This isn't Memorial Day at the lake weather. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Hopefully it changes. That's about all you can hope for, right? A little peak of sun every now and then, at least.
I'm fine with overcast for Memorial Day at the lake, but overcast and cold, absolutely not. And I know it's not overcast and chilly. Absolutely not.
Right. Need some sun, man. Like this is like true vitamin D territory. We need to be harvesting, okay? Not stuck inside, peering out windows.
As I get older, I'm really starting to appreciate it being hot more. I get it. Hey, people that are in your 50s, 60s, 70s, I get it, guys. I totally understand where you're coming from. I get why some of you keep the house at 75 now. I totally understand. I get it.
Yep. That's why all the old men sit there and stare at the Weather Channel and, know the exact forecast over the next 10 days like nothing else. It's like a deep scouting report for the rest of your life.
Well, hopefully something changes because I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, Ted. Speaking of not liking things, let's get to the OU football stuff.
Okay.
A fine publication called the Daily Emerald, which just is, let's be real, a fantastic name. The Daily Emerald reported that the University of Oregon is suing OU defensive back Dakoda Fields for a, quote, breach of contract over an outstanding balance tied to a settlement agreement. Now, Ted, you need to help me understand this because Fields was allowed to get out of his Oregon contract for a payment of just short of $40,000. Now, I'm confused if he paid a piece of that already or if the entire thing is outstanding. From what I understand, they negotiated a $10,000 drop in that payment. So I feel like I read something that was like, hey, he paid 29 of it, but not the full 39. And then some of the other stuff I read, I was like, wait, it kind of read like he still owed the full amount. I'm not sure it ultimately actually matters. I don't think this is a big deal at all. I'm just trying to get the details right here, man.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like, they negotiated something and guessing he didn't follow through on the negotiation. And that's where we sit. I don't know if that's because he didn't have it, if that's because he thought that legally he had an avenue out of the entire thing. I really have no idea, but you hate having a big bill hanging over your head like that,
As far as I know, it's the first time I can recall an OU player being sued for something like this, And this is like the NIL era hasn't been around that long, but This is the first time I remember reading a headline and being like, wait, one of our players is getting sued for what now?
Yeah, it's like, they negotiated a buyout of his contract and it sounds like he's just hasn't followed through on that payment, so they're coming after it. And I think that's what it looks like. And I don't know. I would imagine if you're OU, is that like a hey, you've got to clear this in order to I don't know if it's something that they'll be representing him in if it actually goes to the trial or if it gets to that point. I don't know. Maybe he was expecting Oklahoma to foot the bill for that. I guess I just don't know how it all works.
That's it's a first for us, at least that I can recall. Now, from what I have gathered, I think it's pretty safe to say Dakoda Fields did not enjoy his experience at Oregon.
Right.
I think you it's typically you're not having a great time if you're hitting the portal during the middle of a season on a playoff team.
Yeah.
I think that is that's a fair assumption. Now, as far as the legal situation, I'm told that this is something OU fans really don't need to be concerned about. He's going to be repaying Oregon what he owes them in the very near future, and this will all be behind him. So I I've it kind of feels a little petty for Morgan. I'm not gonna lie. This feels like a lot of work for 30 to 40 grand. You know what I mean? But when you think about some of the contract that these other guys are on, like you compare it to a Darian Mensah Duke to Miami,
Yeah.
like it just feels like. But I I like that Oregon holds their players to the contracts. I think I this is what I hope we will do, honestly. And I think that while I don't love the fact that one of the guys on our roster is having to deal with this, I'm glad that Oregon's holding them to it. I expect Jim Nagy and our front office and this entire staff to do the same if guys try to break their contracts with us. And this is good for college football in a way, in my mind. Players have to be held accountable to what they sign. That's how this thing has to work. Like, you can't, in my opinion, you can't just say, you know what? Never mind. I'm going somewhere else. Like, at some point, all college football players, you have to be held to the contracts that you sign. That's why they're contracts.
That's right. And I think for Oregon and probably, I would hope, kind of like what you're saying, everyone else out there that, like, no matter how small, that you chase it all down because, yeah, okay, this one's a small amount, right? 30,000 after, the negotiation, or 40,000 originally, knocked it down 10 grand. It's in the grand scheme of things, it's a small number, but if you don't chase 40 grand down or 30, whatever you want to call it, everyone else on the roster is like, oh, okay, they're not chasing down the money. So I'm not tied to this contract. I'll bail if I need to and not follow through on the contract. So it's one of those things you kind of have to do. You can't set the precedent for the rest of your roster that you can leave and take the money that we've paid you already, even though there's an agreement that you can't do that or you got to give it back. I mean, this is like an unfortunate part of the business whenever you get into contract stuff is, you got 100 guys on contract. You can't just let, 10% of your guys under contract bail with no consequences because it sets a precedent for the rest of the guys.
So I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I expect us to do the same, right? No matter
the cost of doing business currently.
I think you just have to make it clear, no matter how big or small the deal is, you will be held to the contract you sign. And I feel like that's the message Oregon is sending with this. And I started thinking about, some of these other things happening around the country. And I know the Brendan Sorsby situation is there's there's a lot of wrinkles to that one. But
Well, I
I
mean, just on that note, I'd pay the 40 grand before any of your ghosts start to appear into the news, right?
I no kidding. But I hope Cincinnati gets their $1 million from Brendan Sorsby.
Right.
And it's nothing against the kid. I hope he's getting the help he needs at that facility. We may have to talk about the
Yeah.
the affidavit and what they filed. Some of the quotes in there are just, oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. It's funny that he's the one that gambled on his own team and he's the one that's suing the NCAA, right?
It's something. But he owes per the contract and what he did leaving Cincinnati for Texas Tech, he owes them $1 million. I hope Cincinnati gets their $1 million because if this is the system, these contracts have to hold up, man. They have to hold up, or else, I mean, it's already chaotic enough. If guys can just break their contracts with no repercussions, then it's even more chaotic than we think.
Yeah.
So I saw
I
this
mean, they kind
situation.
of got
I
to
hate
get,
it for Fields, but like I think overall for the sport, it's how it's got to be, man. Right?
yeah. And I don't know if they've done this to some degree already, but it's kind of like, but NFL or professional sports or like how contracts are done in the college coaching world. There kind of needs to be a uniform contract that everyone agrees upon, right? And like a buyout agreement, right? That if a guy hits the portal and he's under this contract and he goes to this school and he's got this, 40 grand or however much, like you got to square that somehow to where either the school or someone pays that buyout if it's the player in this situation. I don't know, like it would help everyone involved if there was some type of uniform way of handling those situations, not just every contract's a one off. And does he owe that money? Does he not? Like, what's the fine print wording in the contract say about it? It would help if there was a little bit of a standard contract that everyone followed. And like I said, maybe there kind of to some degree already is.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure if there is or not. You would assume it's something like a percentage of the remaining amount of the contract, or maybe a percentage of what the
What
like
they
the
paid him
original.
for that calendar year or
Yeah,
something.
some you would assume it's something like that, and I'm sure it's a little different for like your star quarterback than it is for your third string inside backer. But I'm with you on that, and I saw this and I read as much as I could find about it, and I don't know what it says about me, but once I was kind of informed that it wasn't that big of a deal and that it was nothing that we really needed to worry about, I started going, okay, how does Dakoda Fields factor into this football team in 2026?
Right.
I and I think that's an interesting question, Ted. When we went out to spring practice, you see the guy number 9 and you go, well, that's what it looks like at corner. That's what you want
Yep.
him to look like. What would you think about what you saw from him throughout the spring?
I saw some pretty decent stuff. I like you said, like the size, just kind of the presence that he has at the position, stood out to me. It is currently a difficult position to make headway, especially as a newcomer, when you've got dug in incumbents, I guess you would say returners, Eli Bowen, Cortland Guillory, like those guys are really good. And, Eli Bowen more so than Guillory. But you talk like Jacoby John, like these guys know the system. And I know every like it's not like Oregon has some super simple scheme where there's no nuance there. And Dakoda Fields is stepping into a situation that he has no idea how to adapt. I mean, especially at corner, there's everyone runs it a little bit different, but you've got like a handful of techniques, right? You got man with inside leverage, man with outside leverage. You're a flat player, a deep third player, a quarter player. There's a small amount of things you're going to do. There's some situations where you're going to be involved in the run game, and a lot of it is the same from high school to college to pro. That's why it's one of those positions we typically say if you come in as a freshman, you got it. It's a position you can step in and play as a true freshman with and you'll see it with regularity. So I think he'll get acclimated quickly to the scheme is what I'm trying to say there in a billion words. But it takes a little bit of time, especially whenever you've got some guys in front of you to make a mark. But as the timeline extends, guys get nicked up, have to miss a handful of practices, like whatever the situation is, you got to have a couple of moments where you get a chance and you go in and shine. But I like where we sit with the starters and the kind of the 3 or 4 man rotation and the depth behind it. Like we don't have experienced depth behind, but we got athletic depth that I think is going to be coming along pretty quick. And just like at a lot of the other positions, I always feel that the better your starters are, the quicker everyone behind them comes up to speed. If your starters aren't that good and there's a bunch of coaching going on and you're not seeing it done the right way consistently, I think it takes the group a long time to get there. So I actually like it for him that he's got some really good players in front of him that are kind of setting the tone and setting the level of play it requires. And I think he'll rise up to that pretty quickly. And I do think that he's a guy that could be battling for depth and a rotational spot on the defense.
He's talented.
Yeah.
I mean, he has the traits you want. It's clear he's got the traits that this staff is looking for at corner. 6'1", 200, 205 pounds probably is what he's going to play at.
Which is crazy. I mean, corner's a good example of really the rest of our football team, frankly. Now, offense has taken a little bit longer. Defense has gotten there a little bit quicker, but the bodies that we have are totally different than what we had when Brent Venables showed up. I don't know that we had any corners, maybe one that were over 6 foot, right? We were always talking about corners are too short and too small. I know Eli Bowen is a bit of an outlier, but he makes up for it in a bunch of different ways, right? We always say if you have a whether it's speed or size, if you have a deficiency, you have to make up for it in other areas, and Eli Bowen does that in a massive way. So, like the body types have changed at corner for Oklahoma.
Like you mentioned, Eli Bowen, the outlier with his size. The other guys, I mean, Guillory, long, lean, only going to fill out more and more, right? Jacoby Johnson's, 6'2", 205? One of the best athletes on the team, one of the best looking athletes.
He looks great out there.
Fields is 6'1", somewhere around the 200 range. Tristan Haynes, and he's going to continue to fill out. But
good.
You walk out there and you go, whoa, that dude's long.
He looks like a spider out there.
Yeah, like 6'2", under 200 pounds. Hopefully, I would assume that's kind of the target down the line is to get him. He's probably somewhere between 190 and 200 right now. I'm sure the target's
about right. I mean, you get to a point at corner, like a lot of positions where like size is good, but there's a point of diminishing return,
Derek Johnson, the freshman. You walk out there and you go, yeah, that's a good looking corner. He's 6 foot, somewhere in the 185 range probably currently. And then, I mean, even Ijama, the transfer. You walk out and you go, yep, that's a 6'2", 200-pound corner. Like everyone but Eli Bowen has a very similar body type now. And It's clear the type of corners that Jim Nagy and the front office are targeting, and the type of corners that Brent Venables wants for this heavy zone system that he runs. One thing I keep hearing people talk about is like, oh, they pressure so much, they pressure so much. The corners are on an island all the time because they bring so much pressure. I'm like, you guys know we're a zone blitz team, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just watch the tape, guys, please.
They're on a technical island, but they've got almost always a flat player underneath them, but they're not always there. Like they're not in a zone blitz. You don't just go buzz the flat. Like you have to have something take you out there, but you are 100% correct. A lot of zone pressures, a lot of simulated pressures where they're playing zone behind it. You know, we switch up man, but Venables is always, well, I guess I shouldn't say always. Typically, year by year, you'll have some different body types out there and want to major in some different things, but a lot of zone, a lot of disguise, and a lot of zone.
The last thing on the Dakoda Fields situation is I'm just really interested to see if Lamar Morgan can get the most out of him. Because, and I know he hasn't been a factor for Oregon his first 2 seasons there. I understand that. But the guy's talented. He was a very highly recruited guy. Like you, depending on what rankings you're looking at, this is a top 100 player in his class. So he's got the frame, he's got the length. Can you get the most out of a guy that has the raw tools? And I think that you're looking for him to be able to stay on the field, like he has to stay healthy. And then he's got to develop consistency at the position. So I think he's got plenty of talent to be a factor for this team. It just comes down to, can Lamar Morgan pull everything out of him? And can Fields prove that he has the level of consistency that this staff is looking for the guys they put on the field?
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing that you'll notice with our defense that you see it's a really high level, and it's something that we talk about it on here quite a bit, but it's something that really kind of flies under the radar in the grand scheme of things. We expect our corners to be physical and tackle. And that's one of the things that, and I don't know if this is a factor that, again, something that we haven't talked a whole lot about, because on paper it looks good, but we just talked about the body types and how good are like our starting or rotational three that we have coming back. Jay Valai built that corner room and did a fantastic job. And it took a little while. Venables' first year or two here, it was like a game by game, constant rotation, trying to find consistency at corner. And then we haven't worried about corner the last 2 years really at all, outside of trying to get some guys back from injury. So, with Lamar Morgan taking over that position, I mean, it is something that you can't just throw a check mark on and say that we're good at the corner room. Like, we got to see how he handles that room and what the level of play is, because there's a culture defensively, and there's a way that staff works together that can look like massive dysfunction at times, but there's a method to the madness, right? And we've all seen it really work. So, I mean, it will be interesting to see how he fits into that machine.
No doubt about it. But it's certainly helpful to have Eli Bowen and Cortland Guillory running out there as your first two corners.
And well,
that solves a lot of problems.
Dude, we talk about depth and like how offensive line, like there's going to be some really good starting units out there, but you ain't going to find very many teams from the very top all the way down that just have a ton of depth at offensive line, right? Your depth pieces are leaving. right? You may lose a big starter somewhere else, and you've got to elevate a guy that maybe wasn't ready yet, which leaves you really vulnerable behind that guy. There's not a lot of depth out there, and corners the same way. So the fact that we have a guy like Jacoby Johnson that you wouldn't say is a starter, but is going to rotate in and play starter type reps at times, like that is a depth piece that the vast majority of college football just doesn't have. They don't have three starting corners that you could throw out there at any time and feel 100% comfortable with. That is nothing small. That is a big deal.
And we'll see who emerges kind of as that fourth corner.
Mm-hmm.
I think, previewing our biggest questions heading into training camp, I think that fourth corner spot will probably be on one of our lists.
Yeah.
Whether that's Haynes, Fields, Ijama, Derek Johnson as the freshman. We know they're not scared to play freshmen on that defense. So,
and they've also got a break glass in case of emergency guy that can play corner. That's a dog in Newcomb. You know, like he's been focused more on that cheetah position, but he's kind of a swing guy that in a pinch, you would feel comfortable with him going out there and playing corner for you.
So we'll see who emerges, but yeah, man, you're right. Guillory, Bowen, Jacoby Johnson. You're feeling great about those three guys. It's just who's next in line after those guys.
Yep. I mean, Jacoby Johnson, like you go back to the 24 season, our first season in the SEC, which was a real struggle. And Jacoby Johnson played a lot for us. It did some good things, but, had some tough moments out there. And you go back to from that season to where he was last year, massive upgrade. I mean, that play against LSU where he goes and makes that interception in a critical moment was totally ready. Again, a lot of teams don't have a guy that can just step out there on the field, find themselves in a must-win situation in a football game and go make a play for you like he did. I mean, it's something that you really got to look at and applaud because depth is killer, man. In this day and age in college football, depth is maybe the deciding factor.
This conversation started with Oregon suing Dakoda Fields, and now we have completely unpacked the corner situation on the roster.
Thing of beauty, isn't it?
Very, very typical for us. All right. It's time. Thunder Spurs. But first, download the updated Loves app, your guide to savings and points with the new Loves Rewards program. Save on fuel with 10 cents off gas and up to 25 cents off auto diesel while earning points on every gallon and dollar you spend. In store, unlock mobile deals and redeem points on snacks, drinks, Love's freshly made meals, and more. Plus, plan your next road trip with a map and route planner. Download the Love's app today and earn 100 bonus points on your first in-store scan through September 1st. All from Love's, the heart of the highway.
The USDA just rolled out a brand new Product of USA label, and Didier Ranch is one of the first ranches in the country to use it. What that means is simple. Their beef was born here, raised here, and processed here 100% in Oklahoma, USA. And to celebrate America's 250th birthday, they're running specials right now on their steak burgers and premium ground beef. If you want real Oklahoma raised beef shipped straight to your door, go to DidierRanch.com and use code SOONER, and the $28 shipping is free. I'm telling you, it doesn't get much more American than Didier Ranch beef.
And we are brought to you by Oklahoma-owned Simple Modern, the Oklahoma Sooners' official drinkware partner. As the weather starts to warm up, we're outside more. Simple Modern makes it easy to make hydration part of your routine. Their new Mesa Loop water bottle is designed for real life. It's easy to grab on your way out the door, easy to clean at the end of the day, and built to keep your drink cold all day long. It's the kind of bottle you end up using every single day without even thinking about it, and it delivers serious quality at a price that makes sense. And with 10% of profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, every sip supports Oklahomans. Simple Modern, good everywhere.
Insurica's launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements, Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
Time for some football guys talking basketball, FGTB, and I'm kind of tired of being on the wrong end of these instant classics, Ted. Kind of tired of it.
Yeah, that was a great basketball game, unless you're a Thunder fan. I mean, it was great until it wasn't. It was a classic, edge of your seat for pretty much the entire game. But I know there's some frustration coming out of it. I've also sensed a little bit of panic out there. Okay. But here's the large takeaway for me. I don't think we played that good. Okay. And it was a classic and it was a great game, but I don't think we played all that great. You ain't going to see any panic here from me. I think we'll bounce back just fine, but Wemby's a problem.
Yeah. Big one. Big problem. Now, I do, in a weird way, find some comfort in the fact that this group lost game one to Denver last year and lost game one of the finals to Indianapolis last year.
Yes.
Both at home. They know this feeling. This is not foreign to them. However, neither of those teams had Victor Wembanyama.
Very true.
And not to say that, Jokic and Halliburton and Siakam and like that group, like obviously those guys are great players, but they don't affect what you do offensively the way that Wemby does. Like that, and that's the thing. Like the 41 points, yeah, really good. 24 rebounds, really good. I don't know how you can't really quantify it, but the way that he changes how the Thunder have to do things offensively is crazy to witness. We're so used to our team like
and defensively. He is the center of the solar system of the like that's the gravity hole that everything is moving around on all times when he's on the floor. I don't remember ever seeing someone have that big of an effect on both sides of the floor. It was crazy.
Yeah. We've never seen anything like it, dude. Now, I haven't dug in on the tape of Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. I will be the first to admit that, but it simply can't be better than what I witnessed on Monday night. It just can't.
Yeah. I'm not trying to, negate any previous players, but imagine if Bill Russell was pulling up from half court and just feathering a 3 in to tie it. I mean, the funny thing about that shot is, was there a person alive that didn't know it was going in whenever he pulled up?
I was stunned when he let it fly from there. I was just like, And now I was watching. So Chet gets bumped, goes flying into the baseline, which we'll talk about Chet. Come on, man. We got to. Come on, man. Come on now, man. But he goes flying. And the thing is that people may not realize is he goes flying. He gets up and is going to make it back on defense. And then in the most unathletic looking thing you've ever seen, where he fell, he slips on his own sweat and falls again. And that's why he would have been there to like at least bother Wembanyama, at least like a flyby, maybe spook him a little bit as he's trying to release it. But just not. It was so similar from the Steph Curry shot, the double bank Steph Curry shot. Did you see the person that put like the audio of Mike Breen?
Yes.
Like the side-by-side view. It's like eerie how similar it is. Not a good shot by Jalen Williams, by the way. Guys, we got to, in overtime, we got to value possessions. We got to take good shots, guys. AJ
I know
Mitchell.
what they are they was he is it like a desperate 2-for-1 attempt? I
I
mean,
know. Just give the ball to the MVP. Just throw it back to him and let him go to work. Not a falling, floating, tough fadeaway mid-range two. It's like the worst shot in basketball.
yeah, yeah.
Now, J-Dub, I thought, considering everything, him not playing for as long as he didn't play, I thought he did some really good things. I'm hoping he'll be able to shake some of the rust off offensively.
There was a moment there where I was like, he it looked like there was a little hitch that one time, but he got back and was fine, and nothing else happened. So I'm assuming he's fine out of that. But that was a tense moment, at least for me.
No doubt. Maybe the thing that bothers me the most about game one, just an all-time Alex Caruso game, and we didn't win.
If it wasn't for Caruso, they would have ran our ass out of the gym.
Dude, it's the best game of his career. It's the best basketball game Alex Caruso has ever played. He can't play any better.
Yeah, well, it's the best game he's ever played, like on paper, but the amount of things you get out of him that don't show up in the box score is just insane. I don't know if I've ever seen another player that makes that many critical plays, like whether it's who he's picking up on defense or, diving for a ball or saving the out of bounds play. It's one awesome basketball play after another.
I need to go back now. Game two's tonight, so I'm not going to waste my time on this, but his performance in game one, it's got to be way up there on the best performances from a role player in Thunder history. If it's not number one, like nothing is coming to mind right now, but
most of the other ones would be just a guy getting hot and hitting a bunch of threes, right?
Yeah,
Which, that's not nothing, but it's a totally different.
Well, he did hit 8 threes.
Yes.
Which was awesome. But he was guarding Wembanyama. He was just flying around everywhere defensively. I can't believe we lost when he played that game, man.
Well, and for the love of God, can the streaming people get their stuff together on the audio? Because I know in the arena, like a lot of the plays that he makes are like massive momentum swing type of plays. It's like, oh no, they got us on the run, and boom, there's Caruso to save the day, and you're flying back the other way. Like they're huge momentum swings, and I know in the arena, you can feel it in the crowd, and it's as if they're calling the game remotely. Can't hear the crowd at all.
The defense chant in the fourth quarter and overtime is as loud as I've ever heard in that building.
Yeah.
And I've been there for all the biggest games in Thunder history now.
Yeah, so Tarico's like, oh, and the crowd comes alive, and you can't hear it at all on the broadcast.
How's that possible, man? I hate that for you.
They suck so bad, and it's the streaming stuff. Like, TV's got it figured out. They got the balance. They know what they're doing. But every streaming service, the audio mix is all screwed up and totally different than the other one. Makes me so mad. It's like a COVID game all over again where they're calling it from a studio somewhere.
And we are big Tarico guys, so it must be really bad.
I bet he's pissed about it.
There's no way he's not. But I'm sorry. I'd seen some tweets about that. Like, is it not loud in there, dude? That fourth quarter when Shea started cooking in the fourth quarter, forcing overtime, and then that first overtime, that place was rocking, dude.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to watch the television say, I can see it's loud in there. I should be able to feel it Like, bring us into the arena with you guys.
Like last night when I was watching, and just a little sneak peek, the Knicks are my winner of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel Madison Square Garden as I
Yeah.
was watching that game in bed.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh my gosh, that place is unhinged. This is awesome. Probably not how Cavs fans felt watching it, but that's how I was feeling watching it. I so that didn't translate watching it from home.
No.
Oh man, that
I mean,
sucks, dude. Because
it
it was
translates for me because like I'm in it. I'm pacing back and forth in the living room and dunking on my son and stuff. Like we're up watching it. So like the tension is there for us because we're so into the game. But if you're a casual observer, it doesn't at all pull you in, and it does. And I know what it's like in the arena. So I don't need it necessarily on television. I'd like to have it, but I mean, but if you're just a non-fan of either team and tuning in to watch a great basketball game, it does not have the feeling that it should.
Speaking of not having the feeling it should, Chet, come on, man. I He's getting a lot of heat right now, and rightfully so, right? Max player. Can't have
Yeah.
8 and 8 when you're a max player. And I understand. Listen, I'm removing the Wembanyama piece from it. We all know
Okay.
this dude he is the ultimate outlier, okay? What bothered me was like the demeanor.
Yes.
Not to be the body language doctor, but man, we gotta have some more stuff to us.
I thought that, and I totally agree. I will say though, and this isn't necessarily in his defense, but I think he's getting like the brunt of the demeanor thing. But across the board, I thought San Antonio took it to us and we were on our heels the entire night, just like edge wise,
Physicality. Yeah.
physicality, attitude. Now, the effort is always there and it's great. And it's not like I think we spit the bit or shied away from the moment, but I, I, yeah, it was reflected on Shea's face. Just, dude, we all get it. It's not normal to be 7-1 and give up half a foot to the guy that you're defending, right? But just I don't care what the stat sheet says in game 2. All right. If you're going to have 8 and 8, fine, but make it a loud and angry 8 and 8. Like just sell out. It looked like he shied away, even on offense. Like he was hesitant to pull the trigger on some of his shots. Like just go sell out. That's it. That's really it for me. Just go sell out. Everything else, I don't really care all that much about. Just answer the challenge of Wemby because he was on it, and Chet, it appeared because of how aggressive and into it, demonstrative that Wemby was, it gave the appearance that Chet was shying away from the moment.
I do not understand why he's not guarding Wemby in critical moments. I don't get it. I don't understand. You got Caruso fighting for his life against Wembanyama. You got Jalen Williams doing everything he can to battle that dude in key moments in the fourth quarter and overtime. Why is Chet not guarding him in those moments? I get it, like through large stretches of the game, you want him to be able to roam. Hey, Chet, Champagny can shoot threes, maybe close out on the guy and run him off the line. Finally did that late in the game after he hit a couple of them. But I get the thought process there of putting him on a guard and letting him roam and be a rim protector. I get that. But, dude, in these key moments, when the game's on the line, why are you not guarding him? I just don't understand it, Ted. Like he needs to go to Dagnall and say, no, I'm guarding Wembanyama. I what am I missing?
I don't know.
I mean,
You're asking
I
the
don't
wrong
know a
guy.
ton about defensive schemes for the NBA. I get it. Maybe there's some obvious reason that I'm just missing. But like I'm talking those key possessions in the fourth quarter and overtime and double overtime, and he's standing halfway between the guys just that's parked in the corner and the paint. Meanwhile, Caruso and Jalen Williams are battling with every ounce of their being on Wembanyama. And I just, dude, go guard the other big guy. Go
Yeah,
guard the other big guy.
I don't know. Like, and maybe it's a thing, and we got a 7-game series, and you can't sit around forever. But maybe Dagnall's waiting for Chet to do exactly what you said. No, hell no. I'm taking Wemby. You know what I'm saying? And there comes a point where if he's reading the demeanor and telling, he could tell that he doesn't want it. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's dumb, but I'm with you. Like, get down there and battle.
I feel good about game two because of how many minutes Wembanyama had to play in game one.
What did he play, like 48, 49, more than that at the end,
And
towards the end?
I was there thinking, oh, he's got to run out of gas soon. And all he did was dominate the second overtime.
You typically don't run out of gas when everything's going well.
He, okay. We've gone this long. We haven't even talked about how Shea played.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. I did not think he matched like the force and physicality that San Antonio played with. And I know that he is like he's got that calm, unflappable demeanor. Ted, am I crazy to think that like I wanted him to be hyper aggressive and maybe scream in Stephon Castle's face in the first quarter in game two?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Just I he typically sets the tone with this play. And that's my expectation for him in game two tonight. But the calm and cool stuff, like that's not what San Antonio's doing here, man. They are in your face, physical. Let's mix it up. And I don't want it Shea to get out of his game, right? But he needs to match that from at least a physicality standpoint. I don't need him talking noise to guys and barking like that. That's not him, but he's got to get downhill. He's got to touch the paint. I know Wembanyama's there. I understand that. But like he's got to play through some of this contact.
I agree. And we talked about it and you mentioned it because of Wemby's effect around the rim. They're going to run us off the 3-point line, right? And you're going to get some flyby opportunities to get into the paint. And you could see it that whether it was J-Dub or Shea, like they'd beat their guy. And then as soon as they're past them, like here comes the hesitation. It's like, I'm not going to the rim. Am I pulling up to hit the mid range or am I, waiting for a guy to cut or waiting for someone to come across and I can hit the open man? There's got to be some moments throughout the game where you say, I'm going to go challenge Wemby at the rim. Maybe I get my shot blocked, but like, let's make him uncomfortable and maybe get him in some foul trouble or something and take it to him a little bit. Because the hesitation and indecision is where a lot of the turnovers come from, right? It's like, okay, I beat my man. Oh, I don't know what to do. Late kick, intercepted pass, and they're going the other way. Just every now and then go challenge the guy at the rim.
Well, if you remember what Minnesota did against him in game one, Terrence Shannon after the game was just like, we're going to keep taking it at him. That ended up not working out great for him. But they made him exert so much energy defensively, challenging him at the rim that he kind of just ran out of gas.
Yep.
So maybe there's a mentality switch there with how many minutes he had to play in game one. like heading into the night, like, hey, let's make him empty the tank early in this game and see if he's got the stamina to play at an extremely high level for 4 quarters.
Oh, well, I
Again, but
think that Caruso's the energy draw for him, right? Just because it's different and the movement patterns are different. Like maybe you do that way earlier.
maybe
And
tell Dort to do it, but less. Like Dort, like bent him over a couple, couple. Now Wimby, it was embellishing. Let's go with that. But maybe say, hey, Lou, just like 80% of you, and then just make things really miserable for him. But yeah, you got to make the guy work, and it's not easy. He's
and,
unbelievable, but
and he's not even to his peak yet. I
not even
mean,
close.
kid's still what, 22 years
It's
old,
just
something like
terrifying.
that.
It's terrifying. We got to get him now, dude. We got to get him now. And we haven't even talked about how Castle and Dylan Harper played. Dylan Harper, who's like 20 years old. But I was a little surprised, not shocked, but surprised. I thought that San Antonio would guard Shea just straight up a little more than they did. They threw two guys at him a bunch. He had to give up the ball. He ended up with 12 assists. They're going to continue to do that. They're going to live with Alex Caruso and Lou Dort and poor Aaron Wiggins. When that third three missed, it broke my heart, man. I was like, come on,
Yeah.
Wiggs, just hit one. They're going to
You
live
think
with those guys shooting shots instead of Shea until those guys prove they need to take another, use another strategy.
I didn't watch it with the same eye, so it's hard for me to remember, but is that what San Antonio did during the regular season, or is that they watched what the Lakers did, and through that series, Shea was, he didn't have these huge numbers. A lot of the other guys had to pick up, the pieces. Is that what that is, or is this something typical from them?
I think it's certainly what the Lakers did, certainly is a factor. And then I think I mentioned it on here, but San Antonio did some of that to Anthony Edwards in the Minnesota series.
Yeah.
And it was pretty effective for him. So I think that the combination of those things, it's smart coaching from Mitch Johnson. It's just, hey, the guy wearing number 2 is really good. Let's make every other guy out there beat us.
Mm-hmm.
It's the old Belichick thought process, right? Yeah, their best player. No, we're going to take him out of it. You other guys, beat us.
Mm-hmm.
And still can't believe Caruso had that night and we lost.
I know.
8 threes, dude, and we lost. But it is going to be game 2. I would expect something similar tonight where Shea's teammates are going to have to. This sounds extremely obvious. You're going to have to hit shots. Those are the guys that San Antonio are going to say, hey, shoot the ball. We're comfortable with that. Shoot the ball. We know we've got this alien in the paint, near the paint, that deters you from shooting all of your mid-range stuff near the basket. So, hey, yeah, go ahead. Long-range shots for all you roll guys.
Yep.
We'll see, but we've played them 6 times and they've beat us 5.
Yeah.
Typically, that's an indicator that they're better than you.
That's the other thing. Like, because of the way it went during the regular season, that's why I was really surprised that we weren't, like, our demeanor wasn't a little bit different than what it was in this game. I have to remember, listen, it's a 7-game series, and I think we probably all agree that if we win this thing, it's gonna go 7, right?
Certainly, if you said I'd give every dollar of my name to sign up for a game 7 right now, if that was offered on the table, like, yep.
Yes, yeah. But so we're not even a quarter of the way into this thing, and I know that we've got a great locker room. We've got a great coaching staff. We're experienced. We've been there before. So I totally trust that they know when to turn it on and when maybe to not turn it on. But I did did think that we were going to make it a point right out of the gate that we are going to be the aggressor. We're going to be the physical team and we're going to take it to you. And credit San Antonio because they flipped that on us.
Okay, this is the part where I mentioned that their best creator didn't even play in the game.
Yeah, what's up with that? What's the I didn't
Ankle stiffness for De'Aaron Fox. He is their best on ball creator. He did not play in the basketball game, and they beat us.
And it hurt them. Like, as great of a game as this was, there were some ugly moments really for both teams, but San Antonio had some really bad possessions late in the fourth quarter, late in the first overtime. There was some chaotic situations out there where you could tell they really missed him with the ball handling and running that offense. A bunch of situations where they were never even able to get into their offense with the shot clock bearing down on them because of the defensive pressure all the way out near half court. And that was an advantage that we had in that game that we weren't able to build on and get out of there with a win, because you have to imagine those are going to be more difficult to come by whenever he's back in running the show.
We weren't able to capitalize and transition on those turnovers. Like Castle had double-digit turnovers?
Yep.
And it felt like every time we had an advantage, like a 2-on-1 in transition, like we didn't score.
It's the hesitation. It was like,
it's like, is Wembanyama running me down from behind?
Right. I'm telling you, dude, it was like scared to go to the rim a bunch of times. And I get it, but just go punch that thing, man. Don't worry about the layup and trying to draw the foul. Just go punch that thing with some aggression.
I feel like this has been pretty negative, and that's how you feel after a loss like this. But
I'm fine with it. I am good with where we are, because like I said when we started this segment, I don't think we played great. I don't think we played anywhere close to our best.
We're complaining a lot. And honestly, it just comes down to a couple of squandered opportunities in the first overtime. Thunder win the game.
Yep.
Like AJ Mitchell, fast break. Right in front of me. And I go, if there's footage of my reaction to that shot, AJ Mitchell is not going to like me. Because I just go like, I was like, oh no.
I mean, I get,
because he's kind of falling. He wasn't on balance. You know what I mean? And it was just like, dude, you got a wide open fast break. Just
either pull it out. Like, we got the lead. Let's run some clock here. That's
he's
one of
wide
those
open.
like,
I get it, but it just didn't feel like
no. And if he makes it, it's like, yes, but he wanted the knockout punch right there.
You're up one in overtime when he pulls that, and then
yep.
I can almost assure you that Jalen Williams is looking at that off balance shot when we were up 3. There's still like 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Yep.
He's looking at that one on film going,
yeah.
And that leads to the run out where Wembanyama pulls the logo 3. I'd really like for us to hit one of those logo 3s to be like an iconic play in basketball. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
We've got like the most memorable 3s of the last 10 years are all against us.
Damian Lillard,
Steph Curry, double bang, and the Wembanyama one. They're all against us.
Yep.
And somewhere Paul George is sitting going, bad shot. But aren't we due to have one of those ourselves?
Yeah, we are. I would like, if it was a perfect world, I'd like to just not need it, but yes, you are correct. We need that moment. It's coming.
Maybe tonight. I'm confident. That this is going to be a long series. So confident, in fact, flights are booked for Game 6 in San Antonio, Ted.
Woo! Well, I mean, it's a 7-game. Well, it's the possibility to be a 7-game series, but because of game one, like this is going to have a game 7 type of feel to it. You know what I'm saying? Like now that you gave up the first one at home, it's not, but it will feel like a must win.
That's a great point, and it leads me to this. Thunder fans, even though it sounds like you can't hear us on the broadcast. I'm sorry about that, Ted. But Thunder fans, now is not the time to project nervous energy on this team. We got to go crazy. I'm nervous. I'm nervous too, guys, but we got to make this team feel the energy. We have to radiate confidence onto these guys. No matter how the game starts, we've got to be unhinged from the opening tip-off.
Take all your anxiety and channel it into a roar, right?
Yes. Yes. They need to feel the energy and the positivity, even if it's fake, guys.
Yeah.
But and this is something that Thunder players have talked about in the past. Like, ultimately, it comes down to those guys executing in between the lines. That will never change. But they feed off the energy we give them, ladies and gentlemen. So let's give them everything we got tonight. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. And if there's stretches of the game where things aren't going particularly well, still bring it. Let these guys know we believe. I don't know how much it matters, but I believe it matters, Ted.
Yes.
Here we go.
It does. Well, I feel good about it. I don't feel great about it. I feel good about it. You cannot let Wemby. He's going to make plays. We all understand that. But you cannot let him, especially on your floor, walk around with that type of confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like after the whistle and, like slamming the ball and talking, and which, as an outside observer it was quite something to watch. I mean, that was a big time performance by him. But you can't let him be the alpha dog that controls absolutely everything on the floor. Someone's got to respond to that and take it to him and put him on his heels. And that person is Chet.
We've got one of the few people on the planet that can go nose to nose with that guy. And
nose to chin.
Close enough to nose, right?
Close enough.
He'd have to bend down a little bit, but nose to nose ish. And like that. And I know that's not necessarily Chet's personality, but dude, let's mix it up, Holmgren. Come on, baby. Let's show a little fire. Everyone thinks you're scared of him.
Yep.
Everyone. That's the narrative, right? Chet disappears when we play the Spurs. Go prove everyone wrong, man. Go get in that guy's face in the first quarter. Bark at him a little bit. What? That's going to inspire him to play even better? He can't play any better than he did in game one.
Not really possible.
Yeah. So let's go challenge him and see if you can, get him out of his game a little bit.
Got to.
Nose to nose, Holmgren.
That's it. This is it. All eyes on you right here. Take it to him. He's going to win some of those battles, right? Like that's just,
you
ain't going to shut him down, but make life miserable for him.
What happens when De'Aaron Fox plays? I don't know.
It ruins their whole flow of what they had going.
They get a little smaller, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess, but they probably won't turn it over as much.
Right.
Game 2 thoughts. Crowd go crazy. Shea's got to be better. Chet, come on, man. Let's go. Attack Wemby more early, making you some more energy.
Yes.
Capitalize in transition more.
Go at that man.
We've solved all the problems. Here we go.
He wants you to fade away and shy away at the rim. That's what he's trying to do. Go directly into his face.
Let's see how that works out for us.
Yeah, I may have a totally different plan of action for game 3.
Wemby had
Stop
35.
Throwing at his face. Stop. Why are we going at Wemby at the rim? Why are we doing
Wemby had
that?
35, 20, and 15 bucks. All right, let's finish up with our winners and losers of the week. But first,
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. SchwabMeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
And head to the garage for hand smash patties, butter toasted buns, and ice cold beer. My go-to is the double bison cheeseburger. It's so good. The garage is the perfect spot to watch any big game, and you can enjoy Rad Hour every day. Enjoy discounted domestic beers, house wines, draft cocktails, and frozen cocktails Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you or order online from the garage in your neighborhood. For all of us Sooners, there comes a time when we need help. We need someone to fight for us, and that Sooner is Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. If you are battling cancer or any other life-threatening condition and your insurance carrier is either slow playing or outright denying your treatment, use the law to get the medical care you need. Marr Law Firm believes you shouldn't have to fight your insurance company while also fighting for your life. Go to see Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. They turn victims of insurance bad faith into champions.
The pros that know trust the locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores throughout the great state of Oklahoma. The Napa Auto Parts Test Every Vehicle program helps keep your car road ready by checking key components like your battery, starter, and alternator at no charge. Accelerate your savings with Napa Rewards at Napa Auto Parts and earn a $5 welcome reward for purchases at Napa when you join. You can sign up at your local Oklahoma Napa Auto Parts, shop NapaOnline.com, and pick up at your local Napa Auto Parts store in as little as 30 minutes.
You've been building equity. Now it's time to use it. With a home equity line of credit from First Fidelity Bank, you can turn your home's value into real moves. Fix up your space, pay down debt, or handle what life throws your way. Get flexible access to cash plus a 3.99% intro APR for 6 months. No pressure, just possibilities. Talk to your local FFB banker or visit ffb.com and see what your equity can do. First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go. As always, Ted, kicks off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
My winner of the week's Jamie Pollard at Iowa State. I mean, I like it. Let's just go at the Big Ten of the SEC. Here's what he said, if anyone didn't hear it. With the threats of the SEC and the Big Ten breaking away, Iowa State's AD Jamie Pollard. He says, quote, "Let them break away. We should break away from them. Let them go. But they have to go in all of their sports and see how fun it is to play baseball, softball, and track when it's just the 20 of you. That's what I think we should do. But I'm one person, and that's probably a little more draconian. That's how I feel about it. Like, let's quit talking about it, quit threatening, go do it. But if you're going to go do it, you don't get to just do it in football and then keep all your other sports with us. No, take them all. See how fun it is." I like the aggression, especially coming from a guy who just lost the best head coach in program history and took 30 of his players to Penn State. But I love the aggression. And has Jamie Pollard watched any other sports? I mean, it's not like the Big 12 and the ACC are dominating in baseball, in softball, and in track. The Big Ten and the SEC are dominating those as well. And it ain't 20 teams. It's what, 34?
Correct. 16 in the SEC, 18 in the Big Ten.
It's a little different than 20. All right.
Hey, Ted, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How many teams are in the NFL?
32 teams.
NBA?
30?
30. Maybe be careful what you wish for, Jamie. And I like Jamie. I've interviewed Jamie when I was doing my Big 12 show. I interviewed Jamie a lot. I appreciate him. He's got an incredible passion for college athletics and has done, frankly, a very good job at Iowa State. He really has.
He has.
But, I get his frustration. I think we're all like, guys, can we just get to the final version of what this is going to be?
Yep.
But if OU's schedule was an SEC slate and then the non-conference was all Big Ten teams, yeah, sign me up, bro. That would be incredible.
Insane. He's insane for saying that.
It would be incredible.
Yes. I mean, the Big 12 in the ACC would wither and die without the Big Ten and the SEC.
Well, correct. But you have to realize if they break away, and I know that there's contracts in place with all those and media rights deals and stuff that are holding those entities together. I understand that. But if they do that, guess who's going to try to get into that club?
Any of the good teams who are still remaining.
Probably Iowa State trying to get in,
Yeah.
So I get the frustration that Jamie's got. I totally understand that. I think a lot of people feel that way as well. But let's chill out.
It would be
Maybe
like
chill out, Jamie.
You know the apocalyptic movies where the government is picking up all the important people that have the seats on the bus and everyone else is like, take the kids, take our kids, please. That's what everyone in the Big 12 and ACC would be doing if the SEC and Big 10 were like, oh, you know what? We're going to go do this thing on our own. Yeah. Listen, I do not think that is ever going to happen. And I think it's all just posturing and bargaining for the 16 team or the 24 or whatever final, like you said, like whatever it is that we're going to get, let's get there. I think it's all posturing, but I can see all the other ADs in the ACC and the Big 12 being like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, you can't say that. You can't do that. ESPN and Fox would be like, okay, yes, please. Oh, only premium games on television. We don't have to pay for Kansas versus Iowa State in November with 7 people watching it. Yeah, we'll do that all day long. We'll go show Tennessee, Alabama, or Penn State, Oregon. Okay, fine. Sounds good. You guys figure out your own deal.
Or we'll show Tennessee, Oregon, and Alabama, Penn State.
Yes.
There's your non-conference now.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
And
I
in
get
softball, we'll have the same teams that are going to be in the World Series as have been over the last couple of years. I mean, say what you want. The Big 12 hadn't won a football championship since Texas won it in 05. And there's no one in it that's ever even won one except for Colorado, like in the 90s. I don't think anyone else has ever won a national championship.
The Big 12, I said this at the time when OU and Texas left. The Big 12's never won a national title in football ever again. Right. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to be able to collect. Texas Tech's not going to be able to pay enough guys to come live in Lubbock. They're just they made it there, and then we saw the gap, right? I don't think they're going to be able to close that gap. I really don't.
Yep. So I don't know. I thought it was funny, so I sarcastically put him as winner for just throwing it out there, buddy. Good guy, done a good job at Iowa State, but I mean, there's no way that he wants that to happen. No way.
I think Did that all stem from like the playoff expansion situation?
Yeah.
It was
Well, I
interesting.
assume.
Petitti's like, no, 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 24 is the number. And Greg Sankey's still sitting there going 16. And Petitti said 16 doesn't create enough access, doesn't make any sense, doesn't make enough sense to eliminate the conference championship games. So remember, the SEC in the Big Ten, all the other conferences gave them the power when it comes to what this playoff is looking like moving forward. So maybe the winner of the week is the 12-team playoff because it seems like we're staying at 12 for a while. If they can't agree on it, man, I mean, 12's been pretty good. I've liked it. I've got no
Well,
issues.
the one thing
Some
that you
issues.
missed is like you go back to this year and it's well Notre Dame should have been in or Miami or Texas, like these teams should have been in. That argument, as frustrating as it is for those individual fan bases, that big argument puts a massive spotlight on the playoff. You don't want to eliminate that, in my opinion. Like that's one of the things that makes the college football playoff unique is you have this constant narrative, especially starts to heat up the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season. Who may get left out of this thing or whose schedule maybe isn't good enough. And that, in my opinion, you don't want to miss that to where there's absolutely no drama to who makes it in.
I I think a lot of this conversation, it all stems around eliminating the conference championship games. And I get that. 12 has been pretty entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, I could not believe that Ryan Day and Dan Lanning were good little boys, good little puppets, and marched out there in front of cameras and said that the 2014 playoff is the best way to go about it. There's no way that they believe that. I mean, Ryan Day even said, well, it's probably not best for Ohio State specifically, but for the conference and for the sport, it's best. Dude, you ain't going to find a coach outside of like your big 5 or 8 teams that's not like, hell yeah, 24 teams. Yes. Yeah. Let's totally move the bar of a successful season and just bring in a big pile of schools. And ADs are like, yeah, money. Yes, yes. 24 teams. It just makes sense. You got to give more people hope. Like those ADs because of money and coaches because of lowering massively the bar of success, they're always going to say that. Why don't you listen to the people that actually watch it, the fans? Because
So
it doesn't sound like there's any fans. There may be, your teams that are way down the list. I'm sure some of those fans are in on it, but as of the majority of college football fans, I haven't seen like people clamoring for a 2014 playoff. They didn't even want a 12-team playoff.
the coaches have the ability to get this to 24 quickly. Hear me out. I think it's safe to say that Ohio State has a great chance of playing in the Big Ten championship game this year. Do you think that's fair?
I'd agree with that.
And we've seen a guy like Kirby Smart talk about the 2014 playoff. I think Georgia's got a solid chance of playing in the SEC championship game this year, like they did last year and like they've done many times recently, correct?
Yes.
The quickest way, if 24 is really what these coaches want, the quickest way for them to get there is to sit their starters in the conference championship games. You're already in the playoff. Sit your starters. Don't take it seriously. Just tell, hey, we want to be healthy for the playoff. That's what really matters. And then that significantly dwindles that as a product. That forces a serious conversation where everyone goes, I mean, if the coaches don't care about it, like, what do we even do? We gotta do something. This is ridiculous. Now, I don't think any coach would do that. But if they seriously want it to be 24, if they think 24 is what is best for college football, best for the athletes, best for the fans, then the number one thing you need to do is get conference championship games eliminated. And there's no quicker way to do it than to not take it seriously. Say, no. Hey, Julian's saying we're not playing him. We're treating this like week 18 in the NFL where the starting quarterback doesn't play.
Treat it like a bowl and decline the invite.
Well, I bet if you asked Kirby Smart last year, hey, do you want to play in the SEC championship game or not, with how beat up that team was, behind closed doors, he'd probably like, I'd really prefer we get to rest before the playoff than have to play this game.
It's a total, and we talked about, it's a totally different animal where your team's playing in the conference championship game and you got to walk in on Monday morning team meeting and say, listen, this is a good thing. Like we need to go win this thing. You try and convince your players that it is a necessary football game for your success. I mean, it's a weird dynamic to be in that was never there in the past.
But if 24 is what they want, the coaches, they're serious about it. They can get it there pretty quickly, I bet. Now, I can already see us putting this out as a social media clip and Josh Pate calling me a terrorist. So, but if they really think like that's what's best for the sport, 2014 playoff, no conference championship games, the quickest way to get there is to devalue those conference championship games. And the quickest way to do that is to sit your starters when you get there.
Yep.
And say, no. We want to be healthy for the playoff. We'll see if our second string guys can go win this for us.
Yeah. I would say that they don't want it though. If they want it, it is 100% self-preservation. It is not, they do not want it for the betterment of the sport.
It feels like a lot of people don't want the 2014 playoff. Yeah. But it doesn't matter what we all think. It comes down to what Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey can agree upon.
Yep.
That's how we got there. I'm not entirely sure, but that's where we're at in the sport.
The weird thing is the other is like you got Sankey saying no on the 24, but you got a bunch of the athletic directors saying yes in the SEC. All right. You got the coaches. The coaches came out in their little whatever association that they're all in, and they endorsed the 2014 playoff. Like a lot of those people are seeing money and, lowering the bar of success. They're all saying yes. And Sankey's sitting there saying no. How long can you do that before they say, we'll get someone in who says yes to the 2014 playoff? I mean, because ultimately that's really all he is a representative for all the ADs and the universities in the conference. And if there's that big of a divide, I mean, I don't see that happening, but it is kind of an interesting thing where no one else really in the conference is backing him up a whole lot on the things that he's saying. ESPN is, though.
Which is clearly a very important piece to this.
Yes.
So can we just get to the final version, please? OU's going to be whatever it is, so I'm not worried about it,
Yeah. Well,
but
I mean, here's the other, kind of like the 12-team playoff, the conversation at the end of the year, like the big debate that puts a spotlight on it. Some of this is also good for the sport where there's a constant dialogue and there's disagreement and there's debate out there. Ultimately it's something that draws attention to the sport. Now, it's not all positive, but I don't know. I'm with you.
How about this? 14 teams. Number 1 and number 2 get a bye. And then you just play it out from there.
Sure.
That's what the NFL does.
Yeah. Which, I that's one thing that really frustrates me is this stupid talking point about the percentage of teams in the NFL that make the playoff, just stop using that. It's like it's apples and oranges. The difference between the best team in the NFL and the worst team in the NFL ain't all that much. I mean, it's a hell of a lot closer than the best team in college football and the worst team in college football. Like number one and number 133 or however many teams, the distance between those two teams is so far that it is insane. So stop using that percentage. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's dumb. Like, are you really saying that 40% of the 133 teams in Division One should make the playoff? Is that really what you're saying? That's stupid.
Georgia and Kent State are very close.
Yeah.
Who do you have as your loser of the week?
I absolutely hate picking OU baseball as my loser of the week because it feels like it is every single episode. And I love the baseball team. How does that happen? It should not happen this way.
It did not go well in Hoover. Dude, you got to. When you got a chance to score runs, man, you got to get hits. I know that sounds obvious. And then, what was the LSU pitcher that was talking all that noise?
Late.
Siren? Something like that?
Yeah.
Hot mic, boys. Hot mic.
Yeah. That was tough. Again, we're fine, okay?
We're not fine, Ted.
We're not fine, but we're in the postseason, okay?
Correct.
Now,
Sheeran. Sorry, Devin Sheeran.
Sure. You don't want to go to North Carolina, and there's starting to be some, some projections that put us going to North Carolina. Not what you want, okay? We needed some wins to get us in a better spot, and maybe that doesn't happen, but like the window, like the gap is closing. I feel like we've been there, like, the offense has been better. We're starting to get some power in the lineup. LeChance is coming around, and there's some good things happening, but good night. We just can't put it all together in the games that we need to put it together. And I keep saying, like, the pieces are there. We just got to get hot at the right time. We're running out of opportunities to get hot, unfortunately.
I love your optimism. I really do. I do not share it.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's just how many times are we going to see the same movie until you go, this is just what they are?
Yeah.
They got a ton of talent, man. The argument could be made like this is one of Skip's most talented teams, maybe his most talented team. But they just, when they got to make big time plays, they just don't make them.
Yep.
And like LSU's had from what I understand, like a very disappointing season, and they just kind of mushed us.
Yep. They did. Big
pitchers
hits.
Talking noise, and we did nothing about it.
Right.
It was frustrating.
It does feel like we lack a bit of edge. You know what I'm saying? Like,
baseball's just a weird sport in that way.
It is.
It's not like football. It's not like basketball. But like when I saw LSU's had one of the more disappointing teams in the conference from what I gather.
Yeah.
And they're just acting the way that they did, especially the guys on the mound, and we just couldn't get hits. That made me
the best pitcher
sad.
Scratched like 30 minutes before the game.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things. Like they have had a down year, but he has been an absolute beast for him, and he's scratching. I'm sitting there like saying, okay, here's our chance. And I mean, had a bunch of runners left on in situations where we just couldn't generate anything. And, we hit some really good balls, like smoke some, just hit it right to him. Some of that stuff's going to happen, but it continues to happen, unfortunately.
It makes me sad.
Yep.
The would you text me like after the first, like if we walk guys and hit guys consecutively again, I'm checking out of this game. That was the thing. It's
I'm
like
all amped up for the game, and here we go right out of the gate, and we walk the first hitter of the game, and
8 walks. Jeez.
too much. Too
Hit
much.
2 guys, 8 walks. Had a couple catcher interferences also.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed up
Did
late
you see?
too
Okay,
for that. I stayed
they
up
had
late
that.
for that.
Yeah.
I was trying to channel your positivity, and I was sitting there watching, like, just with kind of a slight anger bubbling below the surface for me
Yeah.
as their pitchers acted like fools on the mound, like it was Game 7 of the World Series, and we just did nothing about it.
Did you see? So they've got the automatic ball strike deal going, which has been great, I think, for the tournament. Now we had an interesting situation. There was a called ball on a full count, and so the runner is stealing on the full count, and there's a called ball. LeChance grabs it and tries to gun him at second, and right after because you're supposed to call the challenge right away, and he catches the ball, throws it down to second, and then after that he challenges, gets the challenge right, and it's an out, right? It was a strike. And then there was a lot of confusion. The LSU coach is out there complaining that he didn't call for the challenge fast enough. It's like, what the hell what are you supposed to do? Just yield the run and not even throw it down? It was a weird situation that I guess we're not as in tune with the ABS system as Major League Baseball is, but I thought it was stupid that he was even arguing that out there. Are you suggesting that your catcher doesn't even attempt the throw whenever he thinks it's a strike and is going to challenge it after the throw? Is that what LSU's coach is arguing? Makes him look like a total dumbass, in my opinion.
I've got a question.
Yes.
What was the count on that pitch?
I think it was a full count.
Well, then he shouldn't throw it because it's a walk. You know what I'm saying?
He thought it was a strike. If
Correct,
it's a strike, you throw it.
I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a flaw. Like that's a flaw in the system. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a strike and he's stealing and he guns him out, but can the guy be out if it was ruled a walk? You know what I mean?
No, yes, it's
it's an incredibly heads up play by LeChance.
Yes.
And you have to throw the ball. You can't, as you're throwing it, tap your head to challenge. Like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
But
if it's called the ball and you throw it and you get the guy out, I think what they were saying on the broadcast anyways, if the runner is like giving a full effort as if he doesn't know if it was a ball or strike call and the catcher throws him out, like it's a judgment on the umpires whether or not to call that out. At least that's what they were saying. But you're right. It's a weird situation.
That seems like a disaster waiting to happen.
I don't know how you manage it though, but yeah, it is.
Because if it's ball 4 and the runner's going and And I know he's got his head down. He's going. I understand that, but if it's ball forward, then the runner could be like, no, I wasn't going full. Like I saw you out of the corner of my eye. I saw you call the ball.
Yeah, because Skip was considering challenging whether or not they got him at second. And then I think it was Taki. You could hear him say,
like,
no.
No.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a weird situation that, like, I don't know the right way to handle it, but the LSU coach was challenging he was out there arguing that it took LeChance too long to call for the challenge, which I think is stupid. Like, you have to, if he thinks it's a strike, he can't catch it and wait on the strike call. Oh, he called it a strike. Now I'll try and get the player at second. Like, you can't do that. So I don't know. We've spent too much time on it, but it was a weird situation.
We're solving the world's problems here, Ted.
We
fixed the Thunder for game 2. We fixed the playoff, and now we're fixing the ABS system for college baseball.
And we'll revisit them in the next episode and change our minds on all of our fixes.
Can you imagine if something like that happens in the Champ Series or the World Series in college baseball? Like, I'm sure that the rule is laid out somewhere. They're not using it in Omaha, obviously, but
well, I'm sure that Major League Baseball has a I mean, here's the thing, honestly. You have to, like, you should not be allowed to let up. If you're stealing, you got to steal, and you should not get a get out of jail free card. Because if you can go and challenge a ball or strike after the fact, like, you have to play the play all the way through, and you shouldn't be let off the hook if the call is changed by the system. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
If you just say that, then you won't have that problem, I think.
Yeah. No, I think that's probably the best way to handle it. I'm glad you brought that up, because as I was laying in bed watching it, kind of stewing in my anger, I was going, oh, this seems confusing. Everyone, they were just out there. Both coaches were out there talking for so long. It was just, I was like, even the guys on the broadcast were like,
it took me a while to figure out what they were saying. I was like, are they insane? Like, what are they? Why do they keep talking about LeChance? And then it took me a while to put together that LSU is saying that it took too long for him to call the challenge. I'm like, are they stupid? Like, no, you got to play the play first if there's something happening. But it was weird.
It was weird. Well, we'll see. We'll see where OU's baseball's going for the regional.
Hopefully not North Carolina.
That almost guarantees that it'll be North Carolina, since you said that. You know that, right?
Yes.
All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first, look at my face. Listen to my voice. This is what it sounds like when you're 35 and have a few too many the night before. Worst part, I had them. I had some Cheers Restore. Just forgot to take them. Why? Because I'm an idiot. That's why. Only an idiot wouldn't take the Cheers Restore pills before they go to bed after a long night of drinking, especially when their claim to fame is that they'll make you feel 50% better, or they'll give you your money back. Don't be like me, please. Don't be an idiot. Take Cheers Restore after your last drink or before going to bed and waking up feeling at least 50% better, or your money back. And for a limited time only, our listeners are getting 20% off their entire order by using code OKBreakdown at cheershealth.com. Just head to cheershealth.com and use code OKBreakdown for 20% off. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Tell them I'm an idiot, and then tell them we sent you. Please support the show. And we are brought to you by Square, your all-in-one business partner, making your day-to-day easier. From point-of-sale systems and payments to inventory and customer tools, Square brings everything together in one simple platform, so you can stay organized, sell anywhere, and keep things moving. No matter what business you are running, Square gives you the flexibility to grow at your own pace and even set up an online store in just a few clicks. And right now, listeners can get up to $200 off Square hardware when you sign up at square.com/go/OKBreakdown. That's SQUARE.com/go/OKBreakdown. Visit Square to get started because the right tools make all the difference. Square keeps us up so you don't have to slow down. Get everything you need to run and grow your business without any long-term commitments. And why wait? Right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/OKBreakdown. That's SQUARE.com/go/OKBreakdown. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today. And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code OB10 for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear around. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code OB10. Buttery soft and 10% off. All right, for my winner of the week, Ted, I thought about going with Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I saw this thing.
What in the world? Yeah, we're about to talk some English soccer here. Just real quick. So Middlesbrough, and I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I have no idea.
I don't know if I'm saying, is it Southampton or Southampton?
Southampton is in the same league as Binghamton, right?
Okay.
Who we played in softball the other day.
Yes.
But I am.
You got me with that one. I was like, yeah, I think they are. Yeah, you think you're right.
I told you. I told you it sounded like an English soccer team. I told you.
That's right.
But so Middlesbrough lost to Southampton in the EFL playoff semifinal in England's second division. So the second best league in English football, soccer. But Middlesbrough will replace Southampton and play Hull City in the championship playoff final because Southampton was found guilty of spying on opponents, multiple opponents.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like anything big's on the line in the old championship playoff final. It's only promotion to the Premier League if you win. Dude.
What I thought was weird is like there's a rule and you can't spy on opponents within 72 hours of a match. I was like, am I the only one that thinks that is weird? You could spy on them up to 72 hours, but after that you can't spy?
You could send no one to view their training session. Dude, I don't know enough about big time English soccer, clearly, but I want to learn more after reading about this story.
Well, yeah, the other thing is like, you're right. It's promotion, which is like a massive financial gain, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Like, how worth it can it be to spy on someone in soccer? I'm sure there's an advantage, but it's not like in football where you're figuring out what plays they're going to do and like how they're going to line up against you. I mean, can't you figure out what they're doing pretty quickly?
What formations will they play? What are their set pieces going to be, Ted? I have no idea. I don't know enough about soccer, but what a story.
Yeah.
2026 and we got a spy story.
Yeah.
Is it better than the Michigan situation? I don't know. I want more details. I want to talk to the spy. I want to hear from the spy. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But my winner of the week, the New York Knicks, my goodness. They were down 93-71 with 7:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Cavs were up 93-71. That's 22 points for anyone that struggles with math out there. Knicks outscore them 44-11. The rest of regulation and overtime to win it 115-104. Little fun fact, Ted. NBA teams in the last 30 seasons were 594-1 when leading by 22 plus points in the fourth quarter of a playoff game.
Makes sense.
Now 594-2.
Wow. I feel like we've seen a lot of those lately. Didn't we just talk about one? What game was that? Where it was some crazy, been a ton of games in O or something. But yeah, that was wild because I'll tell you, I missed out on a great comeback because I checked in the fourth quarter and was like, congrats, Cavs. That's a big one. A lot of people thought you were dead going to get game one. Hats off. Nice performance.
The Brunson burner.
Dude, he's awesome to watch. He's fun.
38 points was the catalyst to the comeback. Just cooked James Harden over and over again. Hey, he basically said, get me Harden. They would get to a pick and roll to get him Harden. And then that man went to work. Just an unbelievable close to the fourth quarter. Madison Square Garden was going nuts. The Cavs had to feel like the walls were closing in on them. It just had to be a terrible feeling. That all being said, Sam Merrill shoots the three to win the game in regulation. And it goes so far down before coming out that Mike Breen starts the bang. And he's like, oh, it's not in. He was about to drop the bang. It was the first time I'd heard Breen start to say bang and then have to retract the bang.
Wow.
But you never want to overreact to a game one. But it just feels like there's no coming back from that for the Cavs. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Series is over. It may not be a sweep, but that one, I feel like there's no coming back from that for Cleveland. Series is over.
That is a tough one to regroup from for sure. And because like the pent up demand in NY City for the Knicks, like to make the finals or to go win a championship, like that is going to be a wall of emotion at all times. That's going to be difficult. Those home games are going to be crazy.
Two more things from this game. Number one, there was a stretch late in the third quarter where we basically just watched Mitchell Robinson shoot free throws for like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Not great. Not a great viewing experience.
Right.
There is nothing I want more than for Mitchell Robinson to be like a 75% free throw shooter so I never have to watch this again. Please. I have to imagine he works extremely hard at it. Please, Mitchell. Please. Please, please, please. No one wants to watch you get fouled on purpose and just watch you shoot free throws for long stretches of NBA playoff games. No one.
Yep.
Please fix it. And then the black Cavs jerseys with the big C on them, those just aren't big game jerseys. They need to throw them away. They look like practice jerseys. No wonder they blew a 22-point lead with 7:40 to go. They were wearing Mickey Mouse jerseys. Get it. Shoot those jerseys into the sun, please.
It is a epidemic sweeping the country at all levels. Like I understand the alternate situation and I get it, but you do not do it in big games, right? You have a brand for a reason. And it's like so everyone in the world knows it. You don't switch your branding up at the biggest points of the entire season where you got the most eyeballs on you. I don't get it.
They're atrocious jerseys. They deserved to blow that lead in the fourth quarter because they wore those jerseys.
Yeah.
And that's just I am not a basketball
combinations that they've been wearing lately.
I am not a basketball X's and O's expert. I factor all kinds of interesting things into I think who's going to win games and win series. And it's just an absolute fact that you cannot play in the NBA Finals wearing those jerseys. You just can't. So they're not going to make it. Can't do it.
Their head's in the not in the right place if they can't see that obvious point, right?
If they would have worn the LeBron era Cavs jerseys that they've been wearing some in the playoffs, they don't blow that fourth quarter lead. Fully believe that. Meanwhile, you got the Knicks just wearing the most classic of classic, no, just traditional jersey, traditional court,
Taking
just
advantage of your brand. Is that what you're telling me?
perfect. Perfect. Exactly how the sports gods intended it to be. Not the black giant Cleveland sea. It's just a horrible jersey, dude. It's atrocious.
Was that Cincinnati playing in the Eastern Conference Finals somehow?
It's like, dude, it's the conference finals at Madison Square Garden. You can't wear that jersey. That's how you blow historic leads. You wear that jersey. I firmly believe that. That and you miss Donovan Mitchell and James Harden miss every shot, then Harden gets cooked over and over and over again. Now, to Harden's defense, some of that shot making from Brunson was just ridiculous.
Dude, he is crazy good. He's fun to watch, man.
The Brunson burner. That's good, Mike Breen. That's good. All right, for my loser of the week. Thought about going with Brendan Sorsby. It's just kind of sad at this point, right? Filed an injunction against the NCAA on Monday. He wants to play in 2026, Ted.
Yeah.
And as expected, and there's an affidavit with a big, long statement from him on it. They played the mental health card, which that's what we all expected. What I did not expect is this quote. He said the bets he made on his own team when he was at Indiana were, quote, purely intended to make me feel more connected to the game and my teammates, to give me more of a reason to root for my teammates.
Your Honor, those were vibes bets, okay?
I wasn't getting to play, Your Honor, so I bet on my team so that I felt like more a part of the team. You get it, right, man? Right?
Yeah.
Right? Listen. I'll just tell you, I was excited to watch Brendan Sorsby play football at Texas Tech this year. I was. He's a very fun player to watch. He's extremely talented. But Sorsby, stop wasting your money on these lawyers, man. You're not going to get to play. It's not going to happen. You're done in college. You're done. It's not going to happen. So just save the legal fees and start getting ready for the supplemental draft.
I'm with you. I know it's in Lubbock, and I know the judge went to Texas Tech, and I understand all that, but I know for some people, even though it's a totally different situation, not even close, some people would say, well, it's hypocritical to say that he shouldn't get to play whenever, Heineke just had his injunction situation, or, and you've had some of these other ones, but this is a totally different animal. You cannot allow this and have a player who bet on his own team. Like, there's no challenge to whether or not that happened. It happened. You can't say, mental health, no harm, no foul, you can play. That basically just says that anyone on any team can bet on their own team or any other team with zero consequences. You just can't allow that, right? Am I crazy?
There is nothing more detrimental to college football than if they let him play. I truly believe that. Like, there's this whole playoff discussion, the NIL, the transfer portal, all that. Brendan Sorsby cannot play.
No,
the can totally of worms that opens
destroy the integrity of the sport instantly.
And I don't think that's hyperbole.
Right.
And I just think he's wasting his time. Listen, you can care about the player, you can care about the person, you can acknowledge that, like, hey, yeah, man, you got a problem. You got to fix it. You got to get the help you need. You can do all that and also say, hey, man, you have forfeited the right to play college football.
No
That
doubt.
doesn't, they're trying to, and I get why they're doing it. The lawyers are just doing their jobs. They're trying to make the NCAA into the bad guy in this situation.
Yeah.
Listen, you're not going to find basically anything where people support the NCAA except for this.
Right.
People are going to say, no. Sorsby is the one that he did this to himself. This is not an NCAA thing. He did this to himself. So
Yeah, and if you think it's a bad thing and like the NCAA, because of the mental health issue is overstepping and should not enforce this rule because clearly the young man has a problem. Well, if that's your position, you're basically opening up every other player in every college sport to have the same problem, to give them the circumstances to which they find themselves in a mental health issue for betting on all kinds of things because there's no consequences. Like you totally destroy the firewall from every player having that mental health problem.
I hope Sorsby gets the help he needs. I would like to see the guy play professional football if there's an NFL team that wants to give him a chance. He's extremely talented. There's no doubt he's got the talent to play in the league. But I will lose my stuff if that kid is on a college football field this year.
I feel bad for the judge. Like, can you imagine being the judge? And
I feel like it's the easiest no of all time if you're the judge.
Well, it is, but it's like, why are you putting this in my court, man? Like,
yeah.
I know I went to Texas Tech and I like everyone's like, yay, there's a Red Raider presiding, but it's like I can't ruin all of my credibility by granting this injunction. Are you insane? Wild.
It just can't happen, man. Guy can't play. I'm sorry. What happens if he plays?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Is like, I'd be lying if I didn't say like there's a tiny piece of me that like the drama. I don't know. It's bad drama, so I shouldn't feel this way. But it's like the little bit of chaos that would happen, or not little bit, the chaos that would happen if that judge get granted the injection. I'm almost like, I would kind of like to just see how it all played out with the rest of college football. That's the devil on the shoulder saying that,
Yeah, because it really wouldn't affect OU in any way, which is really ultimately what we're most concerned about on here. Let's be real.
Not until one of your players spirals into an uncontrollable gambling situation, betting on his own team because there's no consequences.
True. We don't want that to happen for any of our guys, no doubt. But there'd be like this just massive fire burning over here. We'd kind of just be at a distance observing, Like,
right.
what's going on over there? Oh my, oh. Yeah, it'd be interesting for sure. College football ultimately is an entertainment product.
That's right.
That you're not supposed to be able to bet on if you're playing in it. But hey, things change quickly, I suppose. No, the kid can't play. Stop wasting your money, Sorsby. I don't know what you're paying your lawyers, but paying him another dollar is a mistake.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a wild situation. I can't imagine. I mean, it not only does it ruin the integrity of the sport to a large degree, it like ruins the integrity of the court system. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if a judge is like, yeah, it's no big deal, let him play. It's like, how can you trust anything in the court system that it's legit?
That's fair. That's fair. Now, I don't know what's worse, that situation or the Rashee Rice situation. Rashee Rice is my loser of the week. You're not going to find him at Chiefs OTAs. That's because he'll be in jail for the next 30 days, Ted.
Yeah.
Violation of the terms of his probation. Tested positive for marijuana. And now, as a result, goes straight to jail for a month.
Mm.
Ted, the NFL may not care about the weed anymore, but apparently the Texas State Attorney's Office does.
Yeah.
This guy continues to pile up bad decisions. Bad decisions. Apparently doesn't want to be very, very rich playing football.
I don't know, man.
It's hard to understand, man. It's just hard to understand.
Dude, it's hard to understand on his end, but there's always been idiots walking around among us, okay? And that will never stop. I'm more of looking at from Kansas City's side. Has he ever really been a net positive for your team?
His rookie year, when they went and won the Super Bowl, he was pivotal for them in the playoffs. No doubt. I mean, but is he put up with all of this?
Yeah.
Talented?
It's just, it feels
No.
like, and maybe it's just because this stuff is just hung around for a long time. And I don't know the guy, and I don't know what type of teammate he is and all of those things, but I feel like it's been a long time since he's conducted himself in a manner that would represent the Kansas City Chiefs well.
Maybe some people are hearing this and they're like, man, that seems kind of harsh for a positive drug test. Reminder, he's on probation for racing on a Dallas highway with his buddy and wrecking. Multiple car accident. Other people suffered injuries, and then him and all his boys fled the scene.
Yep.
Not great.
And the dude from SMU got hit with a big civil case, right?
Yeah, and I think Rice had to pay out. He already had to pay someone like $1 million, or supposed to, eventually, from what I understand.
I think the guy in the other car had to pay like 2.2 or something.
Yeah. And remember, Rashee Rice got suspended 6 games by the NFL for this incident. So that cost him 6 game checks. The court ordered him, I think it was a little over $1 million for one of the victims. He's got multiple lawsuits pending and a civil trial in his future. And it gets better. Guess who had knee surgery last week? Rashee Rice, Ted.
Inmate number 75, whatever, had knee surgery. Okay.
We're going to find out how good the physical therapy is there in the jail. Had the old, was having a little inflammation, loose body in the knee. Never what you want, Ted. Ouch. Had the old cleanup last week. And now he's in jail.
They got the game ready in his cell, you think?
Maybe Rashee Rice is getting special treatment in jail, but that's typically not how it goes. We'll see, but it's hard to rehab your knee when you don't have all of the fancy equipment in an NFL training room. Do you think he's getting scraped, getting some ice and stim every day?
Yeah. Just come in, a little ice and stim. Work some range of motion stuff. It's like, it goes back to my point with Kansas City. It's like, how long are we going to bend over backwards for the guy? And I don't know. I don't know a lot about him, but, you would think that, holy crap, I'm on probation. And if I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, imagine if you're Kansas City and he gets popped and he with the parole violation in September, and you got to have guys that you can depend on to make some decent decisions. Guys are going to make mistakes. Okay. That's going to be something that you're always going to have to deal with. But whenever it compounds over and over and over, you really got to say, you know, is this good for the program to have this guy around with us? Are we paying a guy, like, are we getting what we're giving him in return? And it just doesn't feel like it from the outside looking in.
Uh, no. And this has been the most consistently good organization for quite some time now. I don't get how have they not let this guy go? I don't understand. Like, I get he's fast, I get it, but he ain't that good.
He ain't that good. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he's a solid player, but I mean, he's not an irreplaceable edge rusher or a left tackle or like he's a receiver. I mean, yeah, there's star receivers for sure, but there's not a more replaceable position in the entire NFL than receiver.
Running
There's
back and
guys
receiver.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. The shirts that his teammates wore when he was suspended feel it's kind of hilarious now. It was hilarious at the time. It's even funnier now, right? I mean, come on, guys.
Uh,
It's a great reminder that NFL teams, if you are talented enough, they will put up with a lot. But it feels like this feels like it should be. It's run its course. That's where I'm at with it.
feels like they're being taken advantage of a little bit.
Hey, he's still on the roster. What do you think the roster designation is when your guy goes to jail? How do you think you? There's like the physically unable to perform. Does he go on to the pup because he's in jail?
I mean, it's got to be like almost like a non-football related injury situation, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or is there just like an incarcerated category we don't know about?
Probably.
I, I don't know. We'll see. Birthday shout outs. Happy 10th birthday to Scarlett Cottle.
And happy 12th birthday to Carson King.
On that note, episode 633 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Sunday. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hope you all have a great rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend. Until next time, we appreciate y'all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.